Hello, good evening. My name is Bill MacKeith. I'm one of the organisers of Oxford Against Immigration Detention. I'm sure, although this is pre-recorded, I'm sure that the Ice and Fire show was brilliant. They always are. They always bring some new understanding and insight to the experience of people being subjected to our immigration system, often detention. I'm one of the organisers of Oxford Against Immigration Detention, formerly Campaign to Close Campsfield. And we're very glad to have the chance to speak in this incredible festival organised by Central England Amnesty International, including Oxford's chair, Amnesty International chair, Penny Ponton. And I also wanted to just pay tribute to the founder of Ice and Fire, Christine Bacon, who was the first person to write something significant about the privatisation of immigration detention in the UK when she did a thesis during her time at the at Oxford University Centre for Refugee Studies. And you can read that very good thesis on their website. So I wanted to say in the next 5 minutes to deal with two things. One is the activities of Oxford Against Immigration Detention, and the other one is about the situation as regards immigration detention in the UK in general. Oxford Against Immigration Detention is the successor to the 25-year running Campaign to Close Campsfield, which was apparently successful with the closure of Campsfield, the detention centre outside Oxford, in, I think it was late 2018. I say apparently because obviously progress is never smooth, and the victory, as far as it was a victory, wasn't just the result of the activity of the local campaign, but because it was the result of a national movement of increasing strength opposed to immigration detention. And if you go to the Oxford Against Immigration Detention website, you can see there's a piece there, an article about that history of resistance to immigration detention in the UK, which is quite a useful background document. The Campaign to Close Campsfield worked in many different ways with local organisations and national organisations and international organisations. And its successor organisation is Oxford Against Immigration Detention. I've referred to the website of OAID, as I will call it. And our activities in OAID, obviously our rate of activity is lower than when we had Campsfield outside Oxford, but we are fairly active. We meet monthly still. It's worth remembering that following the closure of Campsfield, there are local organisations that were active around Campsfield, still active in Oxford, like Asylum Welcome, Refugee Resource, and Freedom from Torture. And there are, in Oxford University, there are three bodies that deal with migration studies. There's the Board of Criminology's part of the law faculty in Oxford University. There's the Refugee Studies Centre, and there's the Centre on Migration, Policy and Society. So we're quite lucky in that respect. One of the things about the Campsfield campaign has been the interaction between activists and academics, or activist academics, which has been very productive, as had the collaboration between Amnesty International in the town, both the city group and the university group, which has produced a lot of very active collaboration. So what we do in OAID is we have a newsletter every month, we've got a website, we do webinars such as the one we had in March on challenging border landscapes, the human realities for women and families. We take occasional actions like we did last November on the, last October on the 10th anniversary of the killing of Jimmy Mubenga by Group 4 guards on a British Airways flight. I'd like to move on to the situation regarding detention nationally. If you look at that document I refer to, the history of resistance to immigration detention, you'll see that up till 2018 or 19, there'd been a lot of progress, with 4 detention centres closed and the number of detention places considerably reduced. And that was looking good for the future. The government adopted a policy of detaining fewer people for shorter periods and using alternatives to detention. But since then, we've had the election of the Johnson government, and with Priti Patel's new plan for immigration, a charade of a consultations, which is just about to end this week, but do put in a submission if you've got time. Just looking at things with regard to detention in the last year, a retrograde step has been the announcement to open a new detention centre in Durham called Hassocfield. I would recommend you go to the No to Hassocfield website, which there's a fantastic campaign up there. There's been the government use of former army barracks in South Wales, in Penally and in Folkestone at the Napier barracks. There's been success in the closing down of Penally, but they're still using Napier barracks and Folkestone to detain asylum seekers. The government also has a plan to open a number of new asylum seeker accommodation centres in the middle of nowhere. And they've asked government departments to come up with sites. One site that was come up with was in Hampshire, in the valley of the Test River. And they've withdrawn that proposal, which is another victory. A further victory I would point to is the successful stopping of a new asylum accommodation centre on the site of Yarlswood Detention Centre. So that was a victory. So there's going to be an almighty fight over this new plan for immigration, a new immigration bill, which will contain some of the proposals. Probably they'll drop some of the madder offshore island detention centre ideas, because places like the Isle of Man and Gibraltar have already said they won't play ball. So I would end this by wishing you all good luck in your struggles to end immigration detention and to fight for the rights of migrants. And congratulations again to Amnesty for organising this festival.